Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Online Store Success with me, Jody Minto. Today I have a very special guest for you. I am interviewing the beautiful Danielle from The Glow You Know and hearing about her business journey. She has a really unique business journey that spans almost 15 years now. So I wanted to chat with her today in this episode to share some of her journey, her wins, her learnings, different ways that she's sort of deviated from the original business and then come back, and just to learn what it's like to be a mum and a business owner and what that looks like. So welcome, Danielle. Thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Jody. Pleasure.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I said, it's such an interesting story because your business model is really unique. I don't come across your business model very often, which is why I was really, really excited to chat with you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what exactly the Glow You Know is?
Yes, the Glow Know has evolved actually over the years, and it all began with my Nutrimetics business. So I have a business of Nutrimetics that I started nearly 15 years ago. And for those who don't know, Nutrimetics is part of the direct selling industry. It's network marketing, multi-level marketing, and over the years, I have my business has evolved into the Glow Know because I really wanted to, as much as I loved my Nutrimetics business and I still love it and I'm so proud of the products and everything like that, I wanted to develop my own personal brand around my business. So I do refer to my beauty business as the Glow Know.
Amazing. It's really interesting because tell me, so you still sell Nutrimetics products underneath your own brand, and I know you also do skincare consults and beauty treatments. Is that right?
Yes. I have a Nutrimetics business. I sell the Nutrimetics products. I have quite a large Nutrimetics business, and the Glow Know is just what I chose to basically call myself when social media came into it 5, 6 years ago, or when I decided to bring social media into my business more. And I'm also a qualified beauty therapist, which I only kind of began that journey during COVID. I went and got my diploma with Ella Bachet because it all kind of complements, like, my beauty therapy complements Nutrimetics and vice versa. So I do have a studio based in my home on the Central Coast, which I'm sitting in now, and I'm a beauty therapist in my studio a couple of days a week, and I use the Nutrimetics products, and people actually come to me because I use the Nutrimetics products. So Nutrimetics have been around since the 1960s. I want to say 1968. And you might be thinking, oh, my mum or my grandma used, Nutrimoist or that apricot oil. And all these years later, the company, like, we're still around, and we don't sell in stores, and we don't do a lot of advertising as a company, and it's all word of mouth. And it used to be heavily party plan based, which we still do, but online has definitely helped evolve how we run our Nutrimetics businesses.
I remember going to Nutrimetics parties with my mum and her friends, and they were always so much fun. And I'm sure my mum still has a Nutrimetics lady, that drops off the pamphlet and she picks out the things that she wants. And I know the products are really, really, really lovely, which is so different, I think, well, not so different, but I guess can be attributed to the long-standing success of Nutrimetics as a brand because their products are great. I'm sure everyone's seen lots of different multi-level marketing, direct selling kind of operations and businesses that often sell non-proven products or kind of obscure products. And Nutrimetics itself, it's, I guess, like Tupperware, if I think of it, is, it's almost like an Australian long-standing brand that we all know and recognize. So it's incredible. So can you buy Nutrimetics online directly from them, or do you you get diverted to someone like yourself who has a territory or a group of customers?
So you can buy the Nutrimetics products online through the generic website. Then
Yeah.
you'll be asked whether you want to actually purchase through somebody who's local, and you'll be then diverted to their website, whoever's in your area, or you can buy through the corporate website. Or like myself, I actually had my own external website built about 6 or 7 years ago, and I have my shop on there where it's theglowno.com.au, but I sell the Nutrimetics products under my personal brand, because then I can offer my beauty services, and people get more of me from that. So it's all exactly the same. I sell the same products for the same price. There's, nothing different. I just have my own external website, and there are a few others that do that as well.
I love that. I love that. And it's so great that Nutrimetics are open to that and adaptable to having resellers have their own brand. And I know on social media, you have a huge following. You've got nearly 10,000 followers and you do such a great job on social media. And I mean, I think it's a great thing for them as well as a great thing for you.
Oh, definitely. They are very supportive of us, you know, um, having our own brands, and really like, what do I want to say? Embracing our own personal brand and niching down as well, because whatever is really beneficial for us is beneficial for the company.
Amazing. Tell me, why Nutrimetics? Did you know someone else that was selling Nutrimetics? How did you even get into it?
Well, it was actually all, I think, just meant to be. So I never wanted to grow up and work in the direct selling industry. In fact, I'd watch my parents when I was a kid try Amway. If
Yep.
anyone remembers Amway, and
Amway, yep.
they were going to go diamond in Amway. I remember hearing that when I was a kid. And my mum had a few parties I vaguely remember when I was a kid. But I met someone by fluke, and because she was so persistent, I think for about 18 months, she was persistent with me to have a Nutrimetics party for her. When I eventually did, it was really successful, and I still didn't have a lot of interest in skincare or makeup or beauty, but she assured me that I should sign up because she lived over an hour and a half away, and et cetera, et cetera. And one thing led to another. And once I went to an event, and I went to an event in Queensland, and I saw all these women Australia wide and across from Australia and New Zealand, of all different ages and different backgrounds, and going up on stage and getting diamonds and cars and earning overseas trips and
Awesome.
making all this money. And I was a high school dropout. I was 22, and I thought, why not? I'm going to give it a go, because at that time I was working in retail, and I wasn't loving my job. And I thought, you know what if I really could make something of this before I do start a family? Maybe that could be me. Maybe I could be a stay-at-home mom and walk across like some stage and earn trips and cars and things like that.
I love that. I love that. I mean, tell me a little bit along your business journey. Has there been any really challenging moments where you've thought, I don't know if this is for me?
Definitely. So probably the biggest one that stands out is when my first daughter was born 10 years ago. Obviously, becoming a new mum is, kind of takes control of your life. And when you're working for yourself and you have your own business, uh, when you're responsible for everything. You're responsible for the growth. You're responsible for bringing in your paycheck every month, and then you drop the ball. And of course, as a new mum, I did. That's what happens. And I got to a point where my business was just going downhill, downhill. Everything I'd worked so hard for, and everything I'd built, because I wasn't as present as what I used to be. And I just remember this distinct moment thinking, like, you know what, who cares? Just let it all go. you can get a job, you can study, you can do something else. And this little voice was just like, no way. You worked so hard to get here. Like, you didn't come this far to come this far. And that was a really big turning point for me. And social media had just come out, or like just, businesses were just starting to use social media a little bit. So I kind of, stuck to it, and I got through those first 6 months of becoming a mum. And I just backed myself big time
I love
and made it through that time of my life.
amazing. And how old's your daughter now? That you're
So Indy's my eldest. She just turned 10 in January.
amazing. So, that sort of blip and that road bump, fast forward 10 years and here you are, and you've diversified your brand and your business. You've added all of these other services and things. And I know I watch you on Instagram and think, oh my gosh, you're amazing.
Oh,
You do
thank you.
such great social media. And I know, I don't know when this was exactly, but I know for a little while you sort of diverted, or you added another arm to your business. Do you want to tell me about that?
Yeah. So in 2017, when I fell pregnant with my second daughter, I knew things had to change. So I was preparing myself for, the arrival of another baby, and I knew how hard it was with Indy, and how I couldn't be as present in my business. And in 2017, my business was in a really good place. I that was when I built my first website. Well, I had someone build a website for me, and I really dove into the world of working on social media, email campaigning, all of that kind of stuff, and automation to try and make my life easier for the arrival of Mia. So Mia is her name when she was born. And I had so much success that I ended up building a social media course. Built my own digital product called Socially Flawless, because I wanted it to have like a twist on beauty, hence the flawless. And I sold that for probably nearly 2 years. It was very successful. And I loved it. It was successful, but I don't have the passion for that like I do in my skincare business. So I heavily work online now using all of my skills that I've built. But yeah, that was a little side avenue, having that digital product, and it worked really well.
Amazing. So interesting. Do you feel like you get most of your customers now via social media still?
Yeah, definitely. So at the moment, everything I do online is organic. And I would say that 90% of my business, or if not more, runs online. And that goes from selling product to working with my team to finding new leads, finding new women to work with. I do everything, all of that online, organically, and it's served me so well.
Amazing. Do you do face-to-face events as well?
Yeah, of course. We do. I mean, I wouldn't say I really do a lot of Nutrimetics parties. I haven't done that for a really long time. I would, because they're so much fun. But
Those are fun. I miss them.
yeah, it's so much fun. But as much as I love online, so online serves me so well, especially for women, we love to connect. So over the past few years, I've been running a lot of local events on the Central Coast, where every couple of months I will collaborate with a local, a restaurant or something like that, local venue, and we'll do like a luncheon with cocktails or bubbles, and we'll have some sort of skincare or makeup aspect to it, or a product launch, and everyone gets dressed up and we do gifting, and it's kind of just like a girls' day out, but it's all about skincare and beauty and makeup. And I just find that women love getting together like that, and we don't do it often enough. So I always say to people that you've got to come to one of these events because it ticks all your boxes. Like I know for me, I'm so busy between, my life and my family's life, for me to go out and do something, like it's really got to be worth it. So we try and make these events so unique that they tick all the boxes. You're catching up with friends, you're eating delicious food, you're getting dressed up, you're getting gifting, and you're learning something.
It's incredible. I think for many e-commerce business owners, doing some sort of face-to-face event every so often would really, really help that connection with their customers. I know most of the motivation for starting an online store is so you don't have to leave the house, but
Yeah,
people do
true.
really crave those face-to-face moments, especially after being locked down for forever. And I think it really helps build up that know, like, and trust, but you really connect with your customers and create those lifelong customers as well. It's something that, it does look like fun, but I think you do a great example of kind of meshing together face-to-face elements of events, and then also your beauty services, as well as then the products via the website. It's a great 360 view of
Yeah.
of serving your customers. So I think it's really, really interesting. It's awesome.
Thank you.
I know MLMs kind of get a bad rap, but I know obviously you've had such a great level of success with it. I mean, and I don't know anything about MLMs at all, but what would you say to the sort of the naysayers, I suppose, that were like, oh no, don't do that?
Yeah, you're so right. Like you're on the money. Most people, when they hear of multi-level marketing or network marketing, are like, oh no, that doesn't work. Like I know such and such who did that, and it's a scam. And I think that so many people are just uneducated about MLM because, for starters, the whole pyramid scheme became illegal in the 80s or the 70s. So you don't make money off people in network marketing MLM. You get paid on top of what they do. So, for example, I have a team with hundreds and hundreds of home shoppers. That's one huge advantage to Nutrimetics, is that you don't have to come into this cult and sell product. Like my business is based on other women just looking after their skin and loving their skin and getting their own products at a discount. And it's such a fantastic opportunity for anyone, but it's a fantastic opportunity for, I'm trying to think of a really like a nicer way to say this, but girls or women that don't have a lot of options. Like I didn't have a lot of options. I'm a high school dropout. I didn't have any qualifications, but I was qualified enough to do this. And I think as well, one of the most common things, people think that, you're a Nutrimetics consultant for fun, that it's just a hobby, and it is fun and I love what I do. But this has been my full-time income for the last 15 years. It's not a little bit of cash on the side. I don't, unless you know someone in this kind of business that is doing well or has built a career out of it, you don't know anything or a lot about this business model. We have been lucky enough to fly all over the world and travel in luxury and drive free cars, and all on top of earning consistent, great income month on month.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So
It seems like it's a great way for people to dip their toe into the business world as well. If they're like, I'm not sure if I want a business, and dip your toe. And then, I mean, obviously for you, it's been a full-time career for 15 years, but I think it's a great opportunity for people to sort of test the waters to see whether business is for them. I think, the important thing is, if anyone is going into that, is to associate yourself with a really substantial, well-respected brand like Nutrimetics. I think where MLMs get such a bad rap is often that they're, like I said, obscure, kind of confusing products that, you know, often really expensive, thousands of dollars, and then, you know, they sort of pop up and then they disappear and gone forever.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, I've seen some, you know, can look a little culty from the outside in, where they're having people rehash the same social media posts like word for word and just replacing
Yeah.
themselves.
Or my favorite is and this happens to me all the time because
Mm,
I am on social media a lot. When other people jump into my inbox, hi, lovely, I've got an
mm.
opportunity for you.
Oh
I'm like,
no.
no.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that kind of, that's what gives it a bad rap. And I think some
Definitely.
companies, that's what they teach, and that's what they say, you know, this is what you got to do to make the sales. And I think if you have a proven product, a respected product behind you that you're associating with, you don't need to do that kind of crazy stuff. You're not trying to push, I don't know, I think there's like, oh, don't come at me, MLM is like, you know, $5,000 water filtration systems, which just
Yes.
seem really confusing. And I feel for people trying to sell those kind of products, because that's a hard sell. You really do have to get very salesy and follow up a lot to try and sell something like that, where people are like, I don't know what this is, and it's a huge investment. So but I just love, I think it's so incredible the way that you've taken, you know, you're associated with them, but you've put your own stamp on it. You've put your own Danielle on it, and turned it into something specifically for you that you love, and you've done obviously really, really well. So congratulations. It's honestly, it's really,
Thank
really
you.
interesting. You don't see many people associated with MLMs that have done the distance and done that amount of years. So I think you should, you know, it's something that you should be really, really chuffed with.
Yeah, I mean, I am. And it's just, people, you know, if you've heard of Nutrimetics, says, oh, my mum used that or my grandma used that. Like, for us to still be around all these years later, like
Mm,
look at all of our competition. Look at all of the brands that
yeah,
we have to
skincare.
compete with.
Yeah.
And you know, people don't realize, but our products are developed inside our beauty lab in Sydney. We have factories in New Zealand. It's just um, a, such a premium product that
Mm,
I'm so proud to work with. But I think the whole personal brand and having the Glow No, it just tells people, you know, it shows my customers and future customers and people I'm going to work with that that it's me. It's not.
mm,
It's not. You're not just coming into Nutrimetics corporate. Like, you're
mm.
coming to work with me, or you're coming to be a part of, you know, my Glow, I call it the Glow No community, and I'm going to help you with your skin like that. It's just simple. I'm not trying to be salesy or anything like that. My strategy has just always been help women embrace their own natural skin.
It's so great.
Simple.
What advice would you give to a friend that's about to start out in their own business?
Um, well, you definitely have to back yourself, and I know that that sounds really cheesy, but you need to look straight ahead and listen to your own gut, and because you know what's right for you. Like, that, if that is what you're being called to do, that's what you're being called to do. And something I say to new people when they come and work with me, and this applies to anyone going into business, people can often get so disheartened when their, you know, their family or their friends or their loved ones aren't, they feel like they're not as supportive as they should be, you know, when you're trying something new or you're going into business or whatever. But you've got to remember that this is your dream. It's not your husband's dream or your best friend's dream or your mum's dream or your sister's dream. Like, it's your dream. So you can't expect other people to be as excited and supportive as you want them to be. But you don't need them to be. You need to be your number one support, and
Mm.
you need to be your number one fan. And we are all capable of doing that. Doesn't matter what's going on externally. Like, it's hard to be consistent in that way, but that's all you need.
Absolutely.
You don't need a support system or support network.
And I think that inner cheerleader muscle, if you like, is something that can be trained. You can train it. And it is something that you will absolutely need along your business journey, because sometimes you will have a partner or a parent or someone sort of well-meaning say negative things like, oh, have you sold any of that product in the garage yet, and things like that. So being able to be your own biggest supporter, your own biggest cheerleader, is something that you will have to continue doing throughout your entire business journey. So I love that. I love that so much. I think too, like self-motivation, like if you're not a self-motivated person, I don't think starting your own business is for you, and that's totally okay. And
No.
I have other family, members and whatnot that I don't think, then they would never have their own business, because it's just not how, they're kind of, even though we're cut from the same cloth, they're sort of programmed. Like they're, some people just are better as being an employee, where other people, have that kind of motivation and that inner cheerleader and inner supporter muscle really strong, and just like, no, I'm going to go for this. I don't want to do that 9 to 5 over here. I'm determined to make this thing work. So, what would you say to your former self, say 16 years ago, when you're wondering what it is you're going to do in this big bad world?
Well, funny story, just super quickly. And I thought of this earlier, and I haven't thought about it for years, but probably about 16 or 17 years ago, my girlfriend at her hens had a psychic. And
Oh,
this psychic told me that I was going to end up working in the fashion/beauty industry and go to New York.
no way.
And it was so far from the truth, and like from what my current circumstances were. And I had totally forgotten about this until 2016 or 17, when Nutrimetics actually took us to New York. And my girlfriend's mum said, remember that psychic said you were going to do that? So I know that was a bit of a side story, but I think I would say to myself, my former self, 16 years ago, don't, you know, look at the big picture. If that's something that you want, go for that, and don't worry about, how it's, how different it looks to where you are now, because
Mm.
who I was 16 years ago is a totally different person. Like, I'm still the same person, but I have evolved and evolved and evolved and evolved, and I'm so much more evolved than what I was 16
Yeah.
years ago. But you need, I believe that what we are called to do is going to call out to us. And if it sparks that, like that flame inside, starting a business or taking this path or that path, you just take that first step.
So good. And it's so true. We can have big plans and not really have a clear idea of how we're going to get there. You don't need that, because you take one step and then the next step will present itself to you. So have that big vision and just take the first step, take the first next step, take the next best step, and see where you land. Because I never imagined I would be an e-commerce business coach. Don't even know what e-commerce even was. It didn't even exist back, for me when I was in high school and whatnot. But yeah, that's such great advice. So tell me, what are the big plans or goals? What's next for the Glow No?
What's next for the Glow No? Well, my youngest daughter started school this year, so I have big, big plans for 2024. I've kind of set myself a bit of a secret goal that now I'm letting everyone know, that I want to double my business this year.
Amazing.
And I don't know exactly how that's going to look, but every single day I'm just taking actions and doing what feels right and what feels fun, like what feels good. And I'm working with some incredible women at the moment. And just to continue getting my message out there, running my events, doing all the online things, that natural glowing skin isn't just a trend.
So good. I love that. Well, I'm cheering you on from the sidelines, and can't wait to see you double your business this year. That's awesome. So
Thank
let's
you.
finish off with a little fun game. I would love to just know 2 truths and a lie, and I'm going to try and guess which
Oh,
ones What's the lie and what are the truths? So do you, I know I gave you a little bit of preparation, about 30 seconds for this game before we jumped on.
Yeah.
But do you want to share with me two truths and a
Two
lie?
truths and
Well,
one lie.
yeah.
Okay. Two truths and one lie. Okay. Okay. I married my childhood sweetheart.
Okay.
I am a Swedish citizen.
Okay.
And what else did I write down? Um, I moved out of home when I was 16.
I'm going to say that you are not a Swedish citizen. That is the lie.
No, that is not the lie.
Oh, that's not the lie. Okay. I feel like you did marry your childhood sweetheart.
Nope.
No, that's the lie. Oh, you're good. Okay. I was watching your face, looking for like a wink or a I don't know, some sort of clue to let me know. There we are. So you are a Swedish citizen. That's awesome.
Yeah, my mum's Swedish, and when I was like 10 or something, I applied for dual citizenship. Well, my auntie did actually on my behalf. So I
Amazing.
have dual citizenship.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
You moved out of home when you were 16.
I did. Moved out of home when I was 16, and I had my first rental when I was 16. I had a family friend go guarantor for me,
That's
and I worked like 30 something hours a week for $8 an hour just to
oh,
pay my rent.
I feel you. I have two teenagers that are year 10 and year 12. And for those listening outside of Australia, year 12 is like the final year, but you have the option of leaving in year 10.
Yeah.
And I left after year 11. I went and did the whole year and then was like, no, I'm out. And I tell them this story because I was the same. I was like, I went and got a job. I wanted money. And then what in fact actually happened is that I went and got a full-time traineeship and I was earning like $4.60 an hour,
Oh,
38 hours a week. I was like, stay in school, kids. Stay in school.
oh,
It's not worth
oh
it.
no. Yes.
So I feel you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Danielle. I'm going to share all of your Instagram handle and whatnot, links to your website in the show notes if anyone wants to go check you out. Danielle does awesome reels if you need inspo on your social media, what to post. She's a great one to follow. And if you need to top up or re-order your Nutrimetics, I know I've got to order some few things from you. Yeah, I'll pop your link down there as well. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Jody.
You're most welcome.
Bye.
Bye.